What is going on, fellas? And welcome to a slightly different video today. Today we're looking at the top 10 best MotoGP liveries between 2010 and 2020. Now, this is a definitive list. This is, you go anywhere, and anywhere, and this is the top 10. This top 10, the only top 10. Everyone else's top 10 is a lie, but this is my top 10. These are the 10 bikes that I think are, you look at them and you think, these are, spicy, beautiful. Few things to say before I unveil the first bike. One-offs don't count. So, Pramac Ducati's Lamborghini sponsorship for Mugello, not included. If it was, number one, without doubt. I love that bike. It is gorgeous. I do love the Lamborghini Pramac Ducati. It is, spicy meatball. So, we are going to start with number 10, obviously. Work to number 1. So, at number 10, we have the Aprilia Gresini team. The 2018 Aprilia. What a beautiful bike. You just look at it. It's green, white, red, navy, blue. It's it's so beautiful. I know it's going to be a controversial pick, but it's so good. I love this bike. I know it wasn't great on track, but still, this is about looks, not about who had the best bike, because then it would just be Yamaha and Honda. But the Aprilia is such a pretty looking bike. And having Aleix Espargaro and Scott Redding on it for the season, I think it was a beautiful bike. What can I say? There's nothing more to say. The fact that you had green is a colour I really like on bikes, and I don't know why, but there's something about this bike that just, it was gorgeous. It was, I know it sounded nice as well, and I know it was a terrible bike, but it looked so nice running around at the back. But still, beautiful. It was beautiful. So at number 9, we have another 2018 bike. It is the Mark VDS Honda. This bike, even though it was a very, very busy paint scheme, there was an awful lot going on in it, with the blue, grey, silver grey, yellow. It was all very much, there was an awful lot. There was an awful lot. I still think it was beautiful to look at. I've always been a fan of Mark VDS. I preferred this paint scheme over the one they had in Moto 2 with that red wine colour. That wasn't a great colour. Whoever decided that, maybe not. They did get a Stella Galicia beer as well, which I've had myself personally. It's fine, I guess. It's not amazing, but that's not the point. The bike, I think it's just a gorgeous bike to look at. Morbidelli and Luthi were the riders for the team for during the year. Bradl did have a couple of races on it as well, but it's a very, very nice bike. I think it's probably the busiest paint scheme on this list. So at number 8 we have a 2020 bike, first one on the list. So far it's been 2018 dominating, but we are only 3 into the list now. It is the 2020 Pramac Ducati, ridden by Jack Miller and Bagnaia. It is amazing looking. Just, I know we haven't seen it on track, but it is, the lines, the colours, how aggressive the Ducati looks for 2020. It is an exceptional looking bike. Like from the side, the colours are just, I love the lines. Everything about this bike is just so pretty. It's a bit nicer as well, I would say, than, well, obviously, because I put it in this list. It's nicer than last year's bike. It's just, the Ducati is such an angry looking bike. I love it. There is no question about it that this, I really wish we could have seen the Mugello race, because I really want to see what this bike would look like with that Lamborghini paint scheme from Mugello, because it is, I don't know if I can say anymore. It's a beautiful bike. Colour wise, it's beautiful. The riders that are going to be riding the bike this year, again, Jack Miller and Bagnaia, 2 lunatics, so it would have been a fun year to see how they'd have got on. I'm still hoping we get some MotoGP racing this year, but I really want to see this bike in going as fast as physically possible. It will be such a beautiful bike. So at number 7 we have one of the oldest bikes on this list, the 2012 factory Yamaha. This bike, just the simplicity of it. It is just plain blue, white, bit of black, vintage colour, just easy to look at. Just such a nice, beautiful bike. There's not much else to say. It's the polar opposite of the Mark VDS. It is a very easy bike to look at. Just a lot of white, a little bit of blue to kind of look like it's the R1. It's a very, very nice bike. One of my fondest memories of this bike was watching Nakasuga get himself a podium at was it Valencia? It was Valencia. It was the last race of the year when Jorge Lorenzo crashed into Ellison, I think, wasn't it? Yeah, this bike was just, it is beautiful. It's the epitome of low key but fast as fuck. This thing, rocket ship. I was gonna say probably not a rocket ship, but it is quick. For even just for MotoGP bikes, it did win the championship that year with Lorenzo. So back when Lorenzo was really, really good. I don't know what more to say about the bike. It's so clean. It's beautiful looking. So at number 6 we have the 2010 Rizla Suzuki, just because it's an iconic paint scheme. Because Rizla Suzuki is like Castrol Honda. They just go together. It's just perfection. The blue that they use for Rizla Suzukis are just, perfection. It is such a beautiful colour. Bautista and Loris Capirossi racing for Rizla Suzuki this season. What more can you say? It was just a match made in heaven. The bike was amazing. Well, it was amazing to look at, if nothing else. It was like a midfield team, but still. It was a beautiful bike. The colour was just, it stood out so well compared to everyone else. The 2010 was a year of kind of some insane colours, but this one was just right on the money. Perfect. I am so sad that Rizla don't sponsor Suzuki anymore, because you could only imagine how nice current Suzukis would look with Rizla written on the side of them. It's just a match made in heaven. There's Rizla, please come back to MotoGP. Please. We want you. We need you. Please. Please. It is such a... I don't think there's going to be many sponsors apart from Castrol who you look at and go, that sponsor belongs with that company. So Rizla Suzuki, Castrol Honda, I suppose Repsol Honda, because they've been sponsoring the factory team for so long now. But it is just, you look at that bike, you look at Suzuki and think Rizla. Anybody who says anything else, you're wrong. Rizla Suzuki is iconic. It's an iconic paint scheme on a bike, livery, whatever you want to call it. Oh, it just works. Everything about it just works. Well, so we've seen boat riders already. The team has already been in this list. It is, have you guessed? It's the Go and Fun Gresini Honda. Oh, what a bike. 2014 Go and Fun Gresini Honda. Oh, beautiful, beautiful creation. I know it's not a flash paint scheme. I think it's so nice. When you look at it, the green and white are just bounce off each other beautifully. Bautista and Redding racing for the team in 2014. It was just, there's something about Gresini's bikes that whoever designs them, they just know what they're doing. They just weren't being paid enough. I say as well, the black version of it was also quite nice to look at. I did prefer the white version though. They did run the black version for a portion of the season as well, so I am going to include it, because they ran it for testing and a couple of races as well. It wasn't the main paint scheme, but it looked tasty in black. But when you saw it in white, it was amazing. There's only 4 paint schemes I think are nicer, but the green and white, it's just, it looked so nice on TV. Green is such a nice colour on bikes, especially when it's a nice green. And this green, same with the 2018 Aprilia, it's just a fantastic colour to put on a bike because it stands out over everyone else. Fourth best livery, in my opinion, is the 2020 factory Ducati. As I said with the Pramac bike, it's such an aggressive looking bike. There is nothing on the grid that looks like it. Just everything about this bike is, I love it. I love everything about it. As I said, there's not many bikes that are higher on this list, obviously because it's 4th, but it is just such an angry looking bike, and I do love an aggressive looking bike. The riders for the season, Dovi, Petrucci and Pirro, coming in to do wildcard races. they're lucky individuals to be able to ride this bike, because it looks amazing. It is beautiful to look at. I know it's got the same sponsorship as Ferrari, so I won't hold that against them, but Ducati, it's just Ducati. It's just Ducati things. Ducati doing Ducati things, as you would expect. Beautiful bike. Crazy design. Angry as all hell. Has the wings, which are a bit interesting, but the bike is just... I've always been a fan of Ducati. I love them. This bike, no exception. It is gorgeous. It's just such a tasty bike to look at. Oh, beautiful. So at number 3, we have the 2012 Gresini Honda. This bike is quite nice to look at. Unfortunately, has a sad story behind its livery, because this is the bike that came the year after Marco Simoncelli was tragically killed at the Sepang Grand Prix. So they decided to paint the bike black as, I suppose, mark of respect for Sideshow Simoncelli. To be fair, it was very nice looking. It was a beautiful bike. It's just unfortunate why it was painted the colour it was. It still looked amazing in the black and red with the San Carlo in yellow. You can't say too many bad things about it. It was quite nice to look at. A little sad, the story behind it, but it's still gorgeous. Alvaro Bautista and Michele Pirro both spending time racing for Gresini this year. Like I said, Gresini just has the best bike designers for paint schemes. The liveries always slap. They are amazing every year. You look back at Gresini's bikes, very few years you look at it and go, that's a disappointment, because he had the Telefonica movie star Honda in the early 2000s, before Danny Pedrosa came to MotoGP and ruined it for everybody, and Telefonica left. But he just, everything, his designer's touch is just perfection. At number 2 now, we have the return of Pramac Ducati, the 2016 Octo Pramac Ducati. This bike, as I said previously, there's something about the Pramac bikes that are just beautiful. This year was predominantly red and white with a couple of lines of blue in it. Danilo Petrucci and Scott Redding. MotoGP is worse off for not having Scott Redding in the paddock. This bike is just beautiful. It was it stood out so much over every other bike on the grid. It was just amazing, it has to be said. I really struggled to decide which bike to put, or of the top 10. It was really a coin flip. I could have probably picked any selection of the top 10 in any order. The only one that was guaranteed was the one that was number 1. That bike is amazing. But this 2016 Pramac Ducati with Petrucci and Redding was just gorgeous. It is such a nice bike. It's not overcomplicated. It's just is. It's such a nice bike. And it was so different to pretty much every bike on the grid that year. It's just Pramac Louis Dantin, when he was the team manager, had beautiful looking bikes. They've kept that formula going for years and years. We've now arrived at the number one. I think most people would be able to guess, based on the list we've had so far, what the bike is going to be. It had to be. It was obvious. There was only one option. This is the first bike I thought of when I started making this list. It is the 2011 Gresini Honda, sponsored by San Carlo, the year that Marco Simoncelli passed. We've already spoken about the bike that came the year after, but this one, the fact that there was so very little on the bike, it was just pretty much plain white with the red San Carlo logo, the red and yellow San Carlo logo, I should say. It was just a beautiful looking bike. It was amazing. I bought a jumper for this team. I don't normally go out and buy merch for racing teams, but for San Carlo Gresini Honda for this year I had to. Simoncelli, one of my favourite bike racers. He was amazing. I absolutely loved everything about this bike. The fact that they had Simoncelli on the MotoGP full balls to the wall GP bike, and Oyama racing on the CRT Honda. It was still, regardless of who was on the bike, it was beautiful. They did have Akiyoshi do a couple of races for them as well, but the plain white, just, I think Gresini, when he was with Honda or Aprilia, he did it perfectly. Everything about the bikes he did. I've said it so many times because he's been in this list. I think this is the fourth time. One, two, three. Yeah, fourth time Gresini's made it into this list. The bike is gorgeous. Everything about it is just amazing. It's beautiful. I absolutely adore it. I'm sure plenty of people would disagree with me, but this one is my personal favourite bike. But yeah, with all of that being said, if you've made it this far into the video, make sure to drop a like. Thank you very much for watching. It's just my opinion. Leave a comment down below what you think. Is there any bike you think I missed? And leave a comment, like, subscribe. I'm intending on doing more videos like this. It's not my normal content, but it's something I'm looking to branch out to do because I do love bike racing. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!